Hello, today is Sunday, the 23rd of August 2020. Welcome to my channel Kater Schnutz. My name is Jan. I'm a 33-year-old FTM trans guy from Germany. Today I want to introduce to you my Detransition tag, which I created. I know it sounds a little bit strange for a trans guy to create a tag for detransitioning people, but let me explain. This is not the first time that the topic detransitioning crosses my line. I would say in the beginning of this year I recognized that the amount of videos about people who explained that they decided to detransition or that they desisted was increasing, and I was curious about it. So I did a little bit of research about how everything happened and what's the tea. In these videos people shared lots of information and personal background, so I got the assumption that this topic is much bigger than I thought and much bigger than it is known within the trans community. And so I created the video series, and in the comments people were really curious and they asked me questions about how the people found out and everything, and of course I couldn't answer all these questions because everyone's story is different. So one person in the comment section brought me to the idea, hey, why not creating a tag with questions which everyone can answer who is in the mood. Questions about how everything happened and how was your story while you were transitioning or while you were identifying yourself as trans person, and what happened when you decided this is not the right direction for you anymore. What happened during you detransitioned and everything. In this way we can get a overview about the amount of people and which kind of people we are dealing with, which ones identified as trans and now desisted, or once did transition and now detransitioned, and so on and so on. So long story short, this is basically the reason why I created this whole tag, although I'm not really supposed to create a tag about detransitioning when I'm not actually detransitioning by myself, but nevertheless I did my very best to find questions which are interesting and precise enough in the same place. So, but please, you can feel free to add other questions or change the whole thing. I'm just releasing this tag into the internet and you can do with it what you want. So let's get into it. My tag is divided into two blocks. The first block is about the phase of transitioning and the second block is about the phase of detransitioning. So let's get into it. First questions. How old have you been when you at first started questioning your gender identity? Me, I was a little bit of a late bloomer, I would say. I was 27 when I first started questioning my gender identity. Yes. Second question. What was the immediate cause for that? So did you see a TV show, or had you a talk with relatives, or did you stumble over it in the internet, social media, whatever? In my case, it was a little bit of a cliche. It was social media. Yes, it was YouTube actually. So I did research about another topic, to be honest. It was also mental health related, but nothing about trans identity or something like that. But I then stumbled over a video about gender fluid, and that sounded so super normal, and that's how I came to it, basically. Third question. How was your social environment? Did you have friends, partner at the time, and did you have close contact to your family? My personal social environment was pretty good and stable. I had friends, I had a partner at this time, not anymore, and I also had always close contact to my family. There was never any kind of a problem, so that was everything fine, I would say. Fourth question. Did you experience dysphoria, which means body or social dysphoria? Yes, in my case it was exclusively body dysphoria, and when I mean body dysphoria, that was mostly my hips and my voice, and chest dysphoria also a little bit, but not so much. Fifth question. Did you start medical transitioning? If so, how old have you been when it started? Yes, I started medical transitioning with my hormone replacement therapy when I was 28. Yes. Sixth question. Did you get an attendant psychotherapy before starting your transitioning? If so, how long? Yes, in Germany this is obligatory. You have to get about, yes, this varies a little bit. I got about 6 months of psychotherapy before I got my prescription for testosterone, and this is about the mean value, but you can get your prescription after 3 months, and some other people get it about 1 year after they started their psychotherapy. So this varies a little bit. Seventh question. Were you happy with the changes you experienced during your medical transitioning? Yes, I was very happy. Starting with my voice, face structure, fat distribution, all that nice stuff. Not so happy with the hair loss on my head and the extra hair growth on my back. This is always something that you could pass, but okay, you can't decide which changes you will get, so I have to live with it, but it's really fine. I'm pretty happy. Eighth question. Did you get any gender reassignment surgeries done? Yes, I got top surgery, and that was pretty much everything besides a liposuction on my hips, but this is not one of the official gender reassignment surgeries, so it was more or less for me, for myself, and for my vanity. Ninth question. Were you happy with the result of the surgery? Yes. Again, a short answer. I'm very happy with the result of my top surgery and also of my liposuction. I will put a link to the top surgery result video into the information bar on the right side, so you can check this out by yourself again. And we reach the 10th question. Was your social environment supporting to you? And again, yes, I had a pretty much supporting environment. There was nobody who was totally aggressive or against me and my transition. Everyone was basically pretty cool with it and they supported me. Yes, I can't explain, I can't share any negative experience with you. I was pretty much on the blessed side of life, you can say. Okay, next question is just for my personal curiosity, because I noticed that I know more trans people with autoimmune diseases than I know trans people without autoimmune diseases. So I'm just curious if this is just by accident or a kind of representative distribution. So 11th question is, do you have an autoimmune disease? For instance, Hashimoto, Crohn's disease, psoriasis, rheumatism, celiac disease, multiple sclerosis, or anything like that. And me, for myself, I'm one of the lucky one. I have Hashimoto as well. So I'm just curious. You can skip this question if you say this is not interesting at all. And the 12th question, and this is the last one for the first block. What was your gender identity during transition? I use the term neutra for myself, but this is just my personal taste of choosing just one label of a number of different labels I could pick, because it sounds like neutral and this is kind of what I am and what I see myself, but if you can choose anything else. Basically, I'm non-binary. This is the point. I considered myself as non-binary before I medically transitioned, and I'm still non-binary, so nothing really changed in that case. Okay, that was the first section, and now we reach the second section about the detransitioning phase. Because of obvious reasons, I can't answer these questions anymore by myself, so I just tell you the questions and maybe do some explanations if necessary. So, first question is, what is your gender identity now? I guess straightforward. Second question, how old have you been when you at first started questioning your transgender identity? This is basically the same question like the first question of the first block, so no explanation necessary, I guess. Third question, what was the immediate cause for that? Again, like the second question in the first block. Fourth question, did you get supporting psychotherapy during your detransition. This is interesting particularly for German folks like me, because by law, if you want to get hormones or medical steps at all, it is necessary that you get a psychotherapy. My goodness. But if it happens that you want to detransition, there are no rules at all that you get a attending psychotherapy. So I'm simply curious how you manage all this by yourself, or do you get help for that? Fifth question, did you stop your medical transition? If so, how long did it go? Yes, well, no explanation, I guess, necessary. And sixth question related to that, have your changes regressed since then? So did your voice change after you stopped your hormone therapy? What's about your fat distribution? Did it change back like you were when you started your transition and stuff like that? And seventh question, do you regret ever having started your transition? And I put this question into the tag because I noticed that not everyone was really regretting transitioning in the first place. Not everyone choose to detransition. Some do it because of pressure of the society, or for other people it was just one step before they simply changed their direction or something like that. So this is just the reason why I put this question into the tag as well. Eighth question, are there things you would like to undo if you could? So are there things which were changed during your hormone replacement therapy or during surgery which you now really regret? Ninth question, what would you say? Have you ever been trans in the first place? Even there I heard different opinions and different perspectives, how people viewed themselves, and I'm really curious how you would view yourself. And also, yeah, I already mentioned it, not everyone considers their transition as a thing that they regret, and not everyone detransitions by choice. So there are different perspectives which I want to put into this tag as well. 10th question. Do you know from psychological factors which kept untreated during your transition, although they had a major impact on you? During my research about people who detransitioned or desisted and stuff like that, I recognized that there were lots and huge amounts of mental illnesses and personal background stories which totally kept unaddressed at all. I was just concerned how many people got the prescription for the treatment of one of their symptoms, which is gender dysphoria, without even clarifying which problem caused the symptom. That's just the point of this question. 11th question, is there anything your social environment should have done differently back in time? So this is basically a blank field where you can put everything in what you want to say to other people, also like people like me. In my fantasy, I always consider being friendly and supporting and open is basically the best reaction you can bring to a person which just outed themselves to you as trans or as something else. Doesn't really matter. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something else I can say or I can do to support someone and not pushing this person into one direction. Just let me know, is there anything that I can say, what we can do, that people don't feel pressure to fulfill any kind of expectation or something like that. Just let me know if you know something. And now we reach the last question, which is there anything trans folks should know but nobody tells them? And this is just me asking you for your honest advice. Are there things which the trans community does fundamentally wrong? Is there anything we can do with young people, new people which come into the trans community? They are not really sure, are they trans, aren't they? They're just figuring stuff out and stuff like that. We all know that. And this is totally normal. But what can we do that these people start to just look at themselves, not to other people, how can we support them to find their own way which is right for them? This is just me asking for advice, if you have one. And that was the Detrans tag. I hope you liked the questions. I still have the assumption that there needs to be research done, much more than we have until now. And maybe we can support the researchers by creating something like this, which creates a huge sample size with some basic questions just to get a first image of what we are dealing here. So I hope you can share this vision, this intention with me, and share also this tag. That would be really nice. And until next time, your Kater Schnurz.